Hey, what's up guys, I'm Sammy, and Samsung can actually make laptops too, and quite awesome ones at that. This is the Chromebook Plus, which is a budget-friendly 2-in-1 laptop, which can really do a lot. This has me incredibly impressed, and I think you're really gonna like it too. That said, it does have some huge drawbacks, which I will be covering in this video. Also, make sure to watch my video comparing this $500 Chromebook to my $2,000 MacBook to see if the huge price jump is actually worth it by clicking the I in the top right, assuming it's already out. So this is pretty much a full-on laptop. It runs as a tablet with a touch screen too, and it's very light, so that means it works well as a tablet when you're using it on the go. This is definitely not designed for heavy use. You're going to be using this like a pretty standard sort of low-power laptop and tablet, but for what it does it really well. It comes with a very nice stylus, and when using the stylus it blocks off your fingers so that only the stylus is recognized no matter where your actual fingers are. You can pretty much have your entire palm on the screen and just use the stylus with your left hand or right hand depending, and it will still only respond to the stylus, so that is absolutely great. The stylus doesn't need charging and it goes right into the side of the laptop, so you're probably not going to lose it and you don't need to charge it, which is obviously a huge convenience to have. Now you can use this with all sorts of things. It works well just scrolling, you can type with it, you can do pretty much everything. I found myself using it all the time just because of how convenient it is, but this doesn't have anything super fancy like pressure sensitivity, but it does definitely get the job done. I've loved using this, and what has me super impressed is that it still works really well as a regular laptop, so depending on however you want to use it, it still works well. And considering this budget price tag, people who are in school or different things like that, maybe you just want a sort of cheap laptop, this is absolutely great. However, with all of that aside, it is mainly just a Chromebook, so all you can do is use Google Chrome. But considering everything you already do using just Chrome, I really don't think it's that bad. They even make up for it because, as I said, this is a bit of a tablet as well, so it's got full compatibility with the entire Google Play Store. You can pretty much download any Android app and it's going to work as it probably would. Now that said, this feature is still in beta, but I haven't run into any issues. I did play some light games and I've been using apps like Skype and Newton Email, which is absolutely great, and just other sort of Android apps like that. Absolutely no issues, and I love that feature. That's not something you find on all of the Chromebooks, so it is pretty awesome. It's got a really nice, sleek, thin, even lightweight design, which makes it great no matter how you use it, and I have to say this design really grew on me. As soon as I used it, I felt like this isn't a standard laptop. The way those edges curve around the entire design just doesn't make it feel like a laptop, but I think that is perfect. It feels like the future of laptop and tablet hybrids, which is really cool. It is definitely going to be heavier than some tablets, but it will mostly be lighter than all laptops. So that should tell you how easily you can use it around the house and just when you're traveling and things like that. Now, one side thing to note is that this is a Chromebook, so you get a different set of keys. Now, for those of you who don't know what an actual Chromebook is, this is essentially just Google Chrome. You don't really get an operating system, you don't get anything, you get a wallpaper and desktop background and all that sort of stuff, but all you can do is use Google Chrome. Now, obviously, the one exception to this laptop is that you can also use Google Play apps, which is absolutely great, but since this is a Chromebook, it doesn't come with a standard keyboard. For example, the caps lock is replaced with a dedicated Google search button, and function keys are also replaced with more useful things like you would use within Chrome. It's a little bit weird at first, I will admit, but I think you'll really grow to like it. This is my second Chromebook, and I mean, I switch between Windows, Mac, and Chrome OS. I have no issues adapting to these extra keys. Now, the screen resolution is a little bit weird because it's not the standard 1920 by 1080, and it's also not widescreen. They've actually made it a little bit more boxier this time, but I think that's okay. I haven't ran into any issues with it. You will get black bars watching YouTube videos and things like that, but really I don't even notice them. I think it's completely fine, and this design does make it a little bit better to use as a tablet overall. Now, when you're using the touchscreen with your finger or the stylus, the screen doesn't nudge at all, which is a big sign of the solid build quality. There are even laptops that are double this price which face that issue, so it's really good to see that Samsung has tackled it perfectly. I had no issues using it like a tablet, even in different orientations, which was absolutely great to see. So for this next part, I want you to keep in mind just how thin this laptop is, because I think it's extremely impressive what they've done, especially at this price point, and that's because I think it really has a nice keyboard. Keys feel strangely nice to use, and they're actually a little bit mushy, which is why I said that's strange, but for some reason I really feel like it feels good on this laptop. Considering the thinness that's already there, but then also that the keyboard sort of dips down in the laptop, I think it's really cool that with that space, they packed in something that feels really good. It would have been awesome if they included backlighting for use in dark conditions, but again, this is only $500, you don't really see it at this price range, so it's not necessary considering everything else they've done. The mouse on here is alright, it's definitely nothing special, but it does get the job done. Honestly, I only use the mouse when I need to use the keyboard, so I'm usually just using the Chromebook Plus with the stylus, which in my opinion is far better than a mouse. Battery life is also just alright. It lasts me around 5 hours of continuous usage, but considering that's with a bunch of apps and tabs open, it is pretty good. It could definitely be better, but I'm alright with how this is because, as I said, this is a really small laptop. It would have been hard to pack in a bigger battery. But the speakers on this laptop are really bad. They're bottom firing speakers, which means that you're going to cover them up, or they're not going to be facing you pretty much no matter how you're using it, because if you're using it on a table, the speakers will be firing downwards, so obviously you don't get that sound directly to your ears, but also if you're using it in some sort of tent orientation, the speakers won't be facing you, so you never really get good sound out of them. Sound quality itself isn't great, it's alright, it does get the job done, but I mean, anytime I've got another device next to me, even my OnePlus 3T, which only has one speaker on the side, I would probably rather use that. Now, there was lots of space on top of the keyboard, which I think they could have utilized here to actually put the speakers in, so seems like a poor use of space. As for performance, it wasn't great either. In fact, it was quite disappointing. It lags very easily, and while it does serve the basic functions like document work and light browsing fairly well, as soon as you go past that, you're going to run into some nasty issues that for me was just way too annoying to deal with. I just switched to another device when it started happening. I honestly couldn't deal with it. This especially started happening when I had a bunch of things open, so for example Spotify, Skype, and maybe 10 tabs open. It does start to lag down a lot, and it definitely is noticeable. Now that said, if you are willing to spend a little bit more, you can get the Chromebook Pro, which comes in slightly better specs to improve performance. But with that aside, while performance definitely isn't going to be the fastest during heavy usage, absolutely nothing beats the almost instant boot time of this legend. That's honestly the thing with Chromebooks, they work really fast but only under the right conditions. If the conditions are present though, performance here even beats out the most expensive laptops out there. It's extremely impressive, and that boot time is what made me jump to Chromebooks in the first place. I was a huge SSD guy and I still really am, so I love it. I think it's great. Now with that in mind, for what you pay, you're getting an amazing piece of tech here, which I think you're all going to love. The way I see it, you get a tablet and a laptop all in this one price tag, which I'm really glad to see. It's great for using on the go, and while you are only limited to Google Chrome, if you've watched this far, you're obviously in the elite range of customers, so I want you to consider how often you use something other than Google Chrome. Before the obvious ones like Word and PowerPoint might jump out to you as reasons for why you stop using Google Chrome, Google themselves already offer really good alternatives to them, which I've been using for many years now. I haven't gone back to Microsoft Office for so long just because of how good these are. You get huge benefits like being able to edit the same document in real time with other people, and also 100 gigabytes of free storage online to use so that you can open yourself up to the safety and convenience of cloud storage. Again, I haven't gone back to sort of regular hardware storage for a long time. Everything is on Google, which I probably shouldn't have told the world, but I guess that's the deal there. I absolutely love it, and it works really well. It's been 2 years since I got my first Chromebook, and as I said, I mean, you guys can see I just bought another one. I absolutely love it. So yeah, you're buying into a huge ecosystem which works really well, and if you haven't got into it already, trust me, you are missing out. So overall, should you buy it? Absolutely. The only reason I can see holding you back from this purchase would be the poor performance and maybe the limitations of Chrome. If you need software like Photoshop and maybe After Effects, I can completely understand that this wouldn't be for you. That said, you can splash out on the Chromebook Pro model if performance is an issue for you, but other than that, I think it's a pretty good choice. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. You know what to do. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'm out. Peace.